In this video, you'll learn how to create a quiz for your students in Google Forms that will grade itself for you. When I say a quiz, I'm including tests, exit tickets, assessments, comprehension questions, anything that you want graded. You can create these quizzes from anywhere. You don't have to worry about creating your own format like you would in Google Docs or Google Slides. You don't have to make paper copies, and you don't have to grade it. To create a quiz, you're going to be in your Drive, as I am here. Go to New in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. Click on More, then click on Google Forms. When you get to the Google form, you're going to have to adjust a couple settings to start. So in the upper right-hand corner, you'll click on the Settings wheel. Under the General tab, if you want to make sure that you have the email addresses from every student that has submitted a quiz, you can go ahead and check this box. What I do is I usually have the first question be, what is your name? So I don't need to collect the email addresses. But if you send out reports and feedback to your students' email accounts, because you have older students or your district allows it, make sure you do click on this box, collect email addresses. I'm going to keep this restricted to just the users in my school district. I just want my students to be able to have one response, so I'll make sure that box is clicked. And I'm going to leave these two options blank below. Then I'm going to go over to the Quizzes tab. I'm going to click on the button next to Make This a Quiz so that it turns it into a quiz. Then below I have a couple options for how I want the grades to be released. After my students submit their form, they're finished, I can immediately allow students to see their grade right there. If you want that option, keep this selected. If you don't want your students to see their grades quite yet, you want to send out their grades after you've reviewed them, you can go ahead and click the Later button. It's up to you. I usually have my students immediately see their grade. Then down below, you can keep these three boxes clicked. This means that students will be able to see the questions they missed, they'll be able to see their correct answers, and they can see how many points they were awarded. So again, keep these clicked if you want. When you're finished, go ahead and click Save at the bottom right. One more thing in settings I want to show you. If you go up to these three buttons in the upper right-hand corner of your screen and you click on Preferences, these are the default settings for your Google Forms anytime you create a new Google form. So if anytime you create a new Google form, you want to collect the email addresses, click this box here in the middle. If anytime you create a new Google form, you want to make every single question required, click this box. And then lastly, if you know that you're going to create quizzes and you always want each question to be worth 1 point or 5 points, you can click this box and then change the point value on the right to the number you want it to be. If you do not want to change your default settings or you do not want to have these things happen every time you make a new Google form, just simply do not click them. It's completely up to you. When you're finished, click Save. So again, clicking those three dots allowed you to change your default settings for a Google form anytime you create a new Google form. When you click on the wheel settings, that changes your settings for just the form that's up on your screen right now. Now it's time to create my quick check. I'm going to give my form a title, Geometry Quick Check, and then I'm going to go down and type in my first question. After you have your question ready to go, you'll click on the word Answer key at the bottom of the question. You'll click the answer that you want your students to choose, so you'll click the correct answer. I'll click hexagon. Then on the right-hand side of the screen, I'm going to award this 1 point. This question will be worth 1 point. And then if you want, you can click on Add Answer Feedback. If your students get a wrong answer for this question, you can enter in a message here, maybe giving them a little hint on how they can remember how many sides a hexagon has. You can click on link and link to a website about hexagons. You can also click on the YouTube link and insert a YouTube video about hexagons. Of course, you'll want to make sure you've already watched the video so you know what it is, but once you find your video, you're going to click on it and then click Select at the bottom. If you want to enter in feedback for a correct answer, you can do that here. I might enter in yes. You can leave both of these blank. It's completely up to you. Go ahead and click Save. So you can see at the bottom, here's my feedback. Yes for correct answers. And here's the video that will help reinforce what a hexagon is to my student. Now, if you ever want to change this, you can simply click on the pencil on the right-hand side of the screen. If you want to delete these feedbacks, just click on the trash can. I'm going to add another question to my Google form. This time, I'm going to make a short answer question. So I'm going to say, name this shape. I'm going to insert an image using the image button on the right-hand side. I'll go to search, and I'm going to search for a cube. I'll find my cube. I'm going to double click on it. So it says, name this shape, and I have a cube. It's going to be a short answer question. I want my students to type in their answer this time. I'm going to click on answer key at the bottom. Then I'm going to go down, and I'm going to add the correct answers. So if they type in the word cube like that, they'll get it correct. If they put a capital letter at the beginning, they'll get it correct. If they type in all capital letters, they'll get it correct. I'm going to be nice and type in cub because you know that someone's going to forget that E at the end. Now, at the bottom, there is a box. It says mark all other answers incorrect. What does this mean? Well, if you click this box and your student does not type in one of these 4 choices, it's going to mark the question wrong, and it's going to give that student 0 points for that question. However, if you do not mark this and they get the question wrong, it will mark it wrong, but it will not assign them any point value. So you will have to go in manually, look at the answer that they did put in, and then you can assign the point value after that. If you know that spelling is going to be an issue with your students, you might choose to keep this box unchecked. After you've put in your choices, don't forget to give this a point value. And then if you click on Edit Question at the bottom, you'll see the correct answers listed underneath the cube that will be allowed. And then make sure that you click Required so that your students must answer this question in order to submit their form. After you finish that question, you can just simply go ahead, add another question, and follow the process again. Once you're finished with your quiz, go ahead and watch the next video, which will tell you how to assign that Google form right through your Google Classroom. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please rate us on TPT. And if you have any teacher friends that you think would enjoy this course, please let them know where they can find it.